On the outside, I was doing a lot of the performing, the tap dancing of like the smile and the showing up and landing on my mark, and I'm gonna just do what I need to do and be this, happy-go-lucky Nickelodeon kid.
Hello my friends, and welcome back to Where Are They Now? In today's video, I'll be giving you the rundown on former Nickelodeon child star Jennette McCurdy. Let's dive in. Jennette McCurdy carries the producer, director, singer, and former actress titles. She got her start in youth acting fairly early, and by the time she was a preteen, Jennette accumulated mass success. Her starring in Nickelodeon's hit teen comedy iCarly, alongside Miranda Cosgrove when Jennette was 14, eventually led to a spin-off of her character opposite Ariana Grande for their Nick show Sam and Cat. Following her leave from Nickelodeon, Jennette moved on to star in Netflix's Between series, and also briefly settled into a short-lived country music career with Capitol Records Nashville. However, her outside success could not combat her deeply resentful, pent-up feelings of her working resume, where she felt ultimately unsatisfied with her life. Naturally, Jennette turned to hard liquor and unhealthy romantic relationships to cope, but eventually ended up quitting both when she realized this didn't work for her, and instead chose to pursue writing and directing by 2017. Jennette currently maintains a hosting position for her MT Inside podcast, catered to breaking those uncomfortable topic conversations with her guests. Jennette has also since declared her freedom from her past self and is ready to throw away that part of her for good. But before we break all of that down, let's rewind a bit. Jennette was birthed in Long Beach, California under the full name of Jennette Michelle Faye McCurdy. Her parents were Deborah and Mark McCurdy, and Jennette grew up in a small part of Garden Grove, Cali, with her three older brothers Marcus, Scott, and Dustin. Jennette enjoys figure skating and has partaken in many competitions. She also owns 3 dogs by the names of Snoopy, Chewy, and Musashi, as well as 2 turtles named Tootsen and Zeus. Jennette's inspiration for pursuing acting was from her idol Harrison Ford and his work in Star Wars. This resulted in Jennette landing the role of Cassidy Guilford in an episode of Mad TV in 2000, when she was only 8 years old. In 2001, Jennette moved on to play Anna Markov in Shadow Fur, and the following year, Jennette took on Jackie Trent in CSI Crime Scene Investigation and Mary Fields in My Daughter's Tears. By 2003, Jennette obtained the opportunity to act opposite Harrison himself with their work in Hollywood Homicide. In that same year, Jennette was playing the role of Amanda Simmons in the Taylor Simmons film. At this point, Jennette had more than 40 TV serials and 12 films under her belt as a child actor, earning her a multitude of awards and nominations in that short time of filming. Some of these included Young Artist Award nominations in various categories for Strong Medicine in 2005, The Last Day of Summer in 2008, and iCarly in 2009. For iCarly, Jennette also bagged wins at the Teen Choice Awards in 2009, the Australian Kids' Choice Awards in 2012, and the OG Kids' Choice Awards in 2012 as well for her work under the Nickelodeon series. But this all came crashing down for Jennette when she made the decision to quit acting in 2017 to focus on her then soon-to-be writing and directing career. Her directorial debut came in 2018 with a short film called Kenny. Following this was The Grave, The McCurdys, and Strong Independent Women. Her brief return to acting came about in 2020 with her quote tragic comedy one-woman show called I'm Glad My Mom Died. In July of that same year, her MT Inside podcast was launched, and by March 2021, Jennette admitted during one of her hostings that she most likely would not be returning to acting again at that point. As for her writing, Jennette was a columnist for 17 magazine and a writer for Wall Street Journal in her time, to name 2. For Jennette, her fame was indeed curated from her acting, but her additional talents in singing and songwriting only brought her further fame. She has numerous songwriting credits from the music she's personally sung, but Jennette is also a screenwriter and producer among her other hobbies, with an all-rounder performance leaving a lasting impression in the world of entertainment and social media. Aside from her fairly busy celebrity status though, Jennette is also a popular figure for her philanthropist at heart nature. When her late friend Cody Waters passed, Jennette dedicated her second single, Homeless Heart, to him. She donated 20% of the proceeds from sales to the Cody Waters Foundation to pay respects to children suffering from cancer. With this, Jennette also holds the Star Power Ambassador title for the Starlight Children's Foundation. One final talent one can say Jennette produces though is her uncanny ability to avoid getting caught up in loads of scandals during her years in the direct limelight. The only real scandal anyone can think of when they think of Jennette was her failure to attend the Nick's Choice Awards function in spite of being invited. Of course, most now know this controversy spiraled into complications when Jennette accused the network of favoring her Sam and Cat co-star Ariana, and the backlash from this was so heavy that Nick had to cancel broadcasting for the series after a single season to avoid any more issues. In conclusion, the rumors were soon cleared by both young stars at the time to reveal that they were both still good friends. Now remember when I told you about Jennette being ready to pack up her old life and move on at the start? Here's how it pertains to what we've learned so far. Jennette's writing career quickly grew into a force to be reckoned with when she penned an article on her family's struggles while her mother was battling cancer for several extensive years. The work was published in the Wall Street Journal, and the article attracted many readers who felt great sympathy for the words on the pages. Jennette's multifaceted talents are unlike that of many, which has earned her the respect and admiration of a wide portion of the target audience the entertainment industry caters to. Her newest book, a memoir titled I'm Glad My Mom Died, is based on her life growing up and is attention-grabbing in every way, to say the least. Not to mention that Jennette has admitted she meant every word of it genuinely. Her hopes with this book is for readers to understand why she created such a bold statement by the end of it. The now 30-year-old has detailed in her book how her mom, Deborah, was a quote narcissist who emotionally, mentally, and physically took advantage of her. Jennette detailed how it was Deborah who forced her into an acting career as a younging and also encouraged her to obtain a dangerous series of eating disorders. She also discussed her mother giving her showers through her late teen years, with claims that Jennette didn't wash her hair accurately. It was Deborah who pushed Jennette to work long and grueling hours despite her sickness at times, and continually gave her daughter breast and vaginal exams until Jennette was 17 because she feared her daughter developing cancer as well. Deborah was described as restricting to Jennette's social and dating life until her 20s and being overall quote cruel, demanding, and hostile to her child-pleasing daughter, all while Deborah screamed at her husband in front of their kids and threw dishes around the house. According to Jennette, she didn't seek therapy for her troubles until after her mother's passing in 2013. This is where she began to accept her past and fully deal with the trauma she experienced. It took years of work, but Jennette is now actively proceeding to extensively improve herself and share her story with the world. While penning her body of work, Jennette recalls it being a quote emotional roller coaster. From 2007 to 2015, Jennette was acting out an aggressively sassy, bright Sam Puckett alongside Miranda's bubbly, glamorously awkward Carly Shay, and again in her spin-off with Ariana Grande's ditzy, airheaded Cat Valentine character. The dynamics of these two shows had kids and tweens obsessed from the very start, as Jennette's spunky, cute, thin, and fair-skinned character, much like many of the other Hollywood girls churned out by the industry at the time, was a natural fan attractor. But her start, as mentioned prior, was not just Jennette's hard work alone, but through the guidance and heavy supervision of her mother, who brought Jennette up in Orange County solely with the intention of making her daughter a famous actress. The seemingly not so devastating loss for Jennette at 21 from her lifelong personal and professional guidance in life clearly proves that if Jennette is right about one thing, it has to be her childhood experiences shaping her to be exactly who she is nowadays. I'm genuinely glad. If she were alive, I'd still be trapped. Every important decision in my life wouldn't have been possible. Her book is raw and telling in a clear and unflinchingly all-honest manner. It describes thoroughly Deborah's desire to raise a mini actor as a wannabe actor herself, but also how Deborah was wildly harmful to her youngest daughter in the process. Most recently though, Jennette seems to be moving in a higher direction to pour out her experiences into the memoir. I'm sure she's hoping to heal others who are going through something similar. The exploration of her childhood and the career she never desired, mixed in with being a writer now and how that has shaped her, has deemed this piece one for the books. In a discussion of her writing rebellion and the hyper-focused reputation of her mom, Jennette explained, "My mom didn't deserve her pedestal. She was a narcissist in ways that will forever impact me." In regards to the people closest to Jennette after her mom's death, Miranda has recently stepped forward to say she did not know every detail of what was occurring behind the scenes with Jennette. Miranda was detailed by Jennette to be shy, but outgoing and sparky, and took Jennette out of her comfort zone throughout most of their friendship. Jennette further described Miranda as a breath of fresh air in her life. In response to Miranda calling Jennette's recently revealed past, she said, quote, "When you're young, you're so in your own head. You can't imagine that people around you are having much harder struggles. You don't expect things like that from the person in the room who's making everyone laugh." Overall, it's no surprise that when Jennette took a peek back into her childhood rise to fame, she discovered the fact that Deborah did not shield her from the dangers of Hollywood back then. She even embarked on a thoughtful journey about the time when her parental figure failed to intervene Jennette being served alcohol authorized by, quote, the creator. During another occurrence, Jennette had pleaded within herself that her mom would have stopped the pressure regarding her teen bikini photo shoot from happening. Rather, Jennette explained how her mom would constantly remind her of how envious everyone was of her and how much they wanted to have what she did. To expand, Jennette revealed, "My whole childhood and adolescence was very exploited. It still gives my nervous system a reaction to say it. There were cases where people had the best intentions and maybe didn't know what they were doing, and also cases where they knew exactly what they were doing." Jennette's memoir is both cheeky and gut-wrenching, with mentions of her once developing jealousy over her former co-star Ariana's success and how she grew to love Miranda despite her mom's warnings not to. But in the wake of it all lies a truth and emotional healing path for Jennette to one day return to the world of historical public scrutiny in a way that only she is able. Quote, I think seeing yourself is particularly difficult with growing up in the public eye because you're so public facing and seen as one thing. That makes the reality of you so much more unseen and invalidated and unacknowledged. But now because I see myself, I can accept being seen by others. Now that is it for today's WATN. If there are any other Hollywood hotties you'd like to see in our next rundown, please feel free to drop them in the comments below. And don't forget to let us know what your thoughts are on today's Where Are They Now video. This was your host Michaela, and I'll see y'all in the next one.